What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, club swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are ready to go. We got Alan in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Bill, Brian, Chris, Cindy. Good morning to you, Dragon. Good morning to Emily, Frank, Joe, John, Kevin, Lauren, Lucian in the house. Good morning to Marius. We got Michael. Good morning to you, Rick, Rock, Tim. Good morning to all you guys. All my people out in YouTube land. Daniel is in the house. Good morning to you, Theron. Good morning to you, Sanjay. Sanjay, I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning to you. We got Sabine in the house. Good morning. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube. Just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. So I'm going full bear today. I just decided I'm just gonna go. I think this is it. We're done. That's what I would be saying if it's opposite day today. Yeah, there's no room for bears. There's no room ever for bears. We tried it. We even tried to float a rumor that we're gonna fire Jerome Powell. Market freaked out for a second. You had White House confirmation that they are going to fire Jerome Powell. And then about, I don't know, 15 minutes later, Trump said, no, there's no plans of that unless there is fraud, basically. So where they think there might be, and this is how crazy it is. It doesn't even matter if they fire Jerome Powell. In about 9 months, he's gonna be out on his own anyway. So whether it's today or 9 months from now, we'll see. But they're saying that if they could find fraud, which apparently he approved $3 billion to redo the Fed buildings, and that might be overstated for what it costs, and we'll see what happens. But basically, a big nothing burger. We had a good 5 minutes of market freak out, and then we're right back to the bullish end of things. Nice looking hammer. Obviously, a little bit of increased volume on this one. And I think you just had some jitters from the previous day of bearish engulfing candle, which we knew was a retest gap. It just retested a little bit harder. At this point, yesterday, with that dip, we got all the way back to another VPOC, 617.87. Bulls absolutely rallied. We're now opening above a whole bunch of VPOCs, whole bunch of support. Still inside day, but most notably, the last big volume candle is the one from 2 days ago. Besides, obviously, yesterday's. Yesterday's wick is probably going to be a pretty important marker on the chart. If we end up breaking that, maybe we see a bigger move with all that bullish volume that came in. For today, we're safe. And we are above the last higher volume red candle VPOC, which is right at 624.30. So that puts us at a mark of right at the closing price of yesterday. We're inside day of that candle. Maybe we see a little bit of a pullback. You got some resistance above you. If we see a pullback, we're going to want to see the 624.24 hold in an absolute panic. Let's see if the 623.28, if we get down there, if that can hold. But we want to close back above the 624.24 zone. And to the resistance side, we have 625.59 and we got 626.32. I would have to lean more bullish than bearish today, although I would leave a little bit of room for maybe some profit taking at open. We'll see if that comes in at all. If the Bulls just don't, maybe the buy button breaks and somebody's broker for a little bit. Some reason we might get a pullback, but if we get that pullback, it is a retest day. You're still inside of this Tuesday candle. So I would allow for maybe a little bit of wiggle room, and then I think Bulls will step in once we come down to that price, regardless, if we don't just open and just absolutely rip Bears faces off like we do. Tim says the earth is flat. I did confirm. Yeah, I asked ChatGPT. They did confirm it as well. So, but I did ask ChatGPT. I said, what does Tim think about the earth? And that was the result. So I'm not sure if that's confirmation or maybe they were just confirming what you were thinking on that one. We got the Qs. Qs looking pretty healthy today as well. Again, big resistance, and this is all just a big retest candle. Again, we did retest a little bit further. We got down to some really good support. We've been there once, twice, thrice, and we're bouncing above it. At this point, we got 558.83. Let's see if that could hold for today. If it could, that should be your support. If we break it, we're just running back down into these bigger supports. Yesterday's support, if we do a full retest, and we are still inside day, but full retest will take us to 556.08. So again, let's see if there's a small pullback on this one. If we can't hold that 558.83, then just try to maybe refrain from hitting the buy button until you at least get down to this 556.16 zone. So somewhere around there. But for now, does look good. Looks like bulls don't care. They're stepping right back into everything. We got Bitcoin, good consolidation still after a nice little move. You still have that one little inverted hammer that we do have to worry about, and then we still have the bigger volume candle. Massive volume came on this one panic day of, again, just profit taking, I guess. Other than that, big key spot on this one, 117 to 34. Looks like we're just tied up in between that range and the range of 118, 754. So maybe just a little bit more chop on Bitcoin. But it looks like we're just resting. We are far away from any of these moving averages. So here's your 20 EMA. That's all the way still back down to 113,502. So a little bit of rest. We even a pullback into this 113,502. I think is still just looking at all buy opportunities. Kevin says, I actually like Tesla today. Things I thought I would never hear ever again until yesterday's candle came in. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yesterday's candle was fairly impressive. Which one of these lines is important? I feel like I forget. Between the mentor groups and the one-on-ones, I add lines to charts. I don't think that two that I put on the chart was that important. But very good close. Yeah, I think anything, if we can stay above this, and again, today is a retest gap, so be careful of that. We have one little resistance somewhere around 324.90. So we'll see if that holds up at all. But in a longer term sense, the fact that we're clearing that 320, I think takes us to probably somewhere in the 330 zone. You're probably about 330.85. And I would say probably up to like really like 330 to 335 range. Again, maybe not be buying right at open. We've already kind of run up a little bit, but it looks good. If we could get the retest back to this 320.58, if that does decide to hold today, and we can get some kind of a bounce, I think that sets us up for a little bit of a bigger bounce from here. You do have some really good support around 323.01, but yeah, I agree. I think this is starting to look good. Downtrend wise, let's draw one little line on this one. Something to this effect. We're not even close to it yet. So depending on when we get there, let's say it takes a little bit of time, 340, 341, something like that would still just get us into that downtrend line. So we'll have to see if we get back up there. Must be the design of your tinfoil hat. It must have one of those little beanies. My tinfoil hat's Gucci, so it's only the best for me. We got ARM. ARM is looking good. Nice candle yesterday. Great gap and go. A little bit of a failed gap and go in the beginning of the day, but all that did was really hit the 20, hit that retest spot. Okay, close. Better open today. Watch out. You do have one resistance right above you, 157.11, and this is a pretty decent retest gap as well. So pretty good spot that we're clearing through. I don't know if we make it all the way back to this 153.97. But a little bit higher, 154.36 would be decent. First spot to look for a small bounce if we don't really pull back that much is 155.74. Really good gap though. Really good gap. See if there's a little pullback, maybe high wave candle, and we'll definitely throw this one higher on the list. We'll watch this one. I like the fact that we're kind of breaking out of that last little pivot. We'll see if it holds, but then again, there was some buying, decent amount of volume yesterday too. I would expect a tiny pullback in worst case. NSC, do they have news on them? Uh, Increased by 2.6% amid reports of being a potential buyout target. Okay. Along CSX as Union Pacific considers acquisition options. B of A Securities has increased the price target, so they got a upgrade and potential buyout. Uh, so they're moving the targets up to 305. That's still a ways away. Really good gap. No volume, particularly really holding us. You had a good uptrend, but even with this gap, that was off of a little bit of a pullback. This might be a runner. Let's get in and see a little bit higher. I'm looking at two little support spots on my chart. That would be no or resistance spots. First one is about 270.24. That gives us about $1. If we could break through that, you have a really good trade, which takes you up to like 270, 270. But we're playing in this field where there's not that much resistance, so that one could go. Especially if we get to buy the dips on this one. Maybe your retest, if you can get it, is 266.63. So if this one, instead of opening and charging forward, pulls back, watch a 266.63. That would get you a little bit better risk reward on it. Otherwise, it does look pretty decent. TEM. Um, I don't know how much this resistance is going to play in back from beginning of June. From like June 3rd to June 6th, we have some decent resistance, which still takes us to 62.37. This is a retest gap from yesterday as well. Opening in a fairly good location. Let's see the first spot if we get a little pullback in the $60.65. Otherwise, I think a high wave candle would be good. I- If we could get through that June resistance, not really a lot stopping us until about 64.02 with possible targets like 64.52. So I think if you're going to take this trade, especially if you're not waiting for a pullback, even on a high wave candle, you have to be pretty confident that you're going to get through that 62, 66 to get yourself a good trade. Where's the last volume candle? I think on a longer term basis, the fact that we remain above this 59.93 zone, that was your bigger resistance on this one. So if we get any kind of pullback even into that zone, that's also retesting the closing price. I don't think I want to see yesterday's VPOC close 59.22. I don't think I want to see that retest, but give me a little bit of a pullback, and the fact that we're taking out that volume candle, the next really big one, we've been above. So I think on a swing trade basis looks tremendous. Could be decent on a bullish day trade as well, but just all timing on that one. I think dips should get bought. Toast. Whoo, that's a good gap. I gotta scroll back to over here. Above all that, we got some consolidation to like 48.36, all untested VPOCs. So that would give us a little bit of room, and then bigger targets on this one. I think probably take you into this almost $51 mark, but really good gap on this one. Let's scoot this up a tad as well. We got a buy on everything except the 15 for right now. So if we can get presented with some kind of a buy opportunity on this one, I think that'd be decent. And again, we've had a good run on this one, good consolidation. If we get a pullback instead of a run, we do have room to the downside as well. I don't really see much until probably looking at about 45.07 if we're going to do a full-on retest of this one. But I think that's a pretty clear buy if we get down there, if the market wants to give us a little gift. So if this thing does a full-on retest, I think that's where you start to set up. Otherwise, you do have some room to the higher side on that one as well. Coinbase, and it is a fairly good gap on toast too. Coinbase, let's see. Looks like probably we want continuation on Coinbase. Bitcoin does look okay. The rest of the crypto world is kind of on fire right now, in a good way. Great location for open. The only thing I have is really a psychological number somewhere around 405.90. But even if you get back up there, that's still about $5, $6. Maybe you get to like, yeah, four. Well, you get about $6 to this one. So, and then obviously if it could break through, but we tried to get through this high wave candle. We did. We just couldn't close above it. So if today could close above it, that'd be fantastic. Maybe if you want to set a trade on this one, well, there's your VPOC. So that would be, if you could hold that, that's your first sign. Otherwise, get somewhere above 401.28 and maybe throw your stops below yesterday's low, which is about 391. And obviously, Coinbase can make some pretty solid intraday moves, but depending on where that opens, right now it does look good for continuation. But if we start to slip before this bell rings in the next 14 minutes and we're under 398.65, I would let it rest until it hits like 394.37, somewhere in that zone. Hood. Hood, we got buy on everything except 3 minute, which is due to probably change eventually. Otherwise, Hood, fantastic day today. Showed some strength yesterday, even amidst the market crash that we had yesterday. It was crazy. There was people that were trying to sell everything. They couldn't get out quick enough. Hood, yeah, it was I think it was a garbage can on fire at one point. It was nuts yesterday. But Hood remained fairly strong, so it looked pretty decent. Nice close on this one. Only issue I have with it today is it's inside day and below yesterday's VPOC, so we'll watch this 103.95. See if we can get through that. Otherwise, that should be your resistance. And then you do have a lot of room to the downside. Maybe a retest back to this $100.49. So kind of iffy. I kind of like some of the other names a little bit better for today, unless we could get through 103.95ish. So if we can get through that, we're off to the races, and we could probably put in another pretty solid candle in a bullish direction. We got MU XXRP up 6. Yeah, everything. I'm guessing you meant XRP, which is crypto. But yeah, everything, even like Cardano and all the smaller names now starting to get some kind of bid as Bitcoin rests a little bit. MU, we did take this one for a short yesterday off the indicator. The DJ Dan Precision Indicator. I think this was our exact trade. It hasn't changed yet. But we caught that retest off of this indicator that came in somewhere right around 9:35 was the indication. We patiently waited. I think we set it up, canceled, then we set it up again as it actually started to bounce. But we caught that one. That one ran right to targets. I bailed a little soon. Some of you guys held it a little bit longer. But yeah, it's been looking a little bit weak. I know Yates has been posting about this one. He's trying to get in. I forgot his exact level he's looking for. I don't think this one is it though, so we'll see. Um, we'll see if we see a Yates post today of like I just got all the MU I could possibly get. Other than that, you've had a couple down days. We've had a good recent run to the downside. It looks weak for today, not opening at a great spot. However, this is a retest gap. So if they do buy this one, they're not really buying it off of any level except for some shorts taking gains. But I would look for your first spot. I'm not loving it, but this would take 114.19 as a potential resistance on it. If we could break through it, then I think you have room right into this, right into yesterday's VPOC, really, which also kind of aligns with this June 12th mark. But looks a little bit weaker. Not saying it can't get a bid up at open. I'd prefer this one to come down more, down into this 111.36 at least. That takes us almost into that 50 EMA as well, so we get a little bit of EMA watcher support. So somewhere around this 111.36 would be decent. I think that's your target to the downside today. But of course, we're not really opening at any real spot where I have an edge. So I would let either this thing drop, I miss the downside, or we get that bounce and I miss the upside, and then look for a short as high as possible, somewhere around probably 115.81, or go long, attempted long at 111.24. But interesting location. We don't really have great levels, but we'll watch it for today, and it is a retest gap. So, especially at open, if we get bought up, I think I would be looking for that to kind of spill over back to the downside at some point today. Hymns, hymns can be sneaky. I am absolutely indifferent at this open. Let me zoom in more. Maybe I can change my opinion. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go slight bull edge. Slight bull edge. As long as we stay above 51.45, I do have probably a psychological level, 52.04. I think we've been there before. We can take that out. Next psychological level takes us up into this 53.01 zone. And from that point, again, we've been there. I think our next target, maybe we see us today, 53.79 if we could break out of this consolidation. But very interesting open if we could hold it. I think this one could be a little bit of a sneaky one. I'd throw a bull edge on this one. If we open how we look for that continuation. Still, yesterday was inside day, maybe a little trap wick, nothing too severe. But even the bottom of that wick just really tested good support. And I think they probably want higher on HIMS for now. So I'd be looking at that one. XYZ, we got a lot of tickers, so I don't think I'm going to try to get to as many as I could. But we'll see. We got XYZ looks phenomenal. I like this one a lot. Again, it is technically a retest gap from yesterday. I don't think I really want to see a full-on retest in this one. I don't think I want to see it get down to 69.03. If it does, I think it's still your buy spot. But then on the way back up, you got to break through this 69.52 zone again. Otherwise, pre-market breakout, I like. High wave candle, I like. I want to try to get into this one as quick as possible to the bullish direction, providing that it's a setup and I'm not just hitting the buy button like every other stock crackhead. But just buy. But this looks good. I like it. Again, the only concern is a little bit of retest, so look for consolidation. Maybe that comes in pre-market. You take the break, but yeah, it looks interesting. Serve also had a good day. Let me get XYZ a little higher on my list before I move on. Okay, it's up there. Uh, SERV had a pretty phenomenal day yesterday, so I'm in it. I'm still holding. I like it. So my prediction probably about $100 a share. Naturally, I have to go with that. But oh yeah, other than that, I got a target up here at like 1603. I don't know where we actually go to, but I think that was like a 3 hour target for me, 4 hour target, something like that. So we'll see if we get up there. Otherwise, pretty good open again. Would I be shocked if we get a red candle that opened today? No, this is definitely lots of volume, lots of buying came in yesterday. Market's giving everybody kind of a little gift on it. But in a longer term sense, if we could get another close outside of this 1204, that's our sign that we probably start breaking out. I think there's buy the dippers somewhere around 1204. Other than that, we're starting to face a little resistance. Doesn't mean we can't get through it, but 1253 would be the next spot. And then the big one is if we could get closes above $12.89, I think now this thing is primed for at least 1426, and most likely we take it out. And then I think I'm looking good on my target. So we'll see if we can get up there. But for now, it had a great final breakdown or breakout. You had a good double bottom in it. You weren't able to close outside of that zone. Today's open market makers doing the hard work for us, which is good. Aklo that you mentioned yesterday, looking good. Let's see what Aklo's doing today. Yeah, that's looking good. Kind of looks a little like Serve, so kind of. But there's your the next little breakout candle. That looks good. Nice little gap up. Again, retest gap for today. You're starting to approach some resistance on this one. Again, a lot of these things are kind of in this getting up to the higher peaks where you start to hit those resistance. Doesn't mean we can't crush through it, but 66.72, then you got 67.95, then you got 68.24-ish. Otherwise, if this thing wants to do a retest, I don't think I want to see yesterday's VPOC get hit on this one either. 62.34. But I think coming down into this 64.15 range. Yep, we drew this one out yesterday of like, hey, there's your 3 bar play. You could probably play this one candle and you would have got triggered yesterday. You'd be sitting pretty today if anybody took that exact setup. You are in the green, which is tremendous. TEM. TEM. This one looks interesting for sure. I think you do get a little bit more of a retest on this one. So retest from here. Great location. You're kind of tangled up a little bit, just slightly if we open here above the moving average. Again, here's another one I don't really want to see the full retest. That full retest would be 59.22. That would be an interesting spot to buy. But if the Bulls really want to remain strong on this one, I think a retest only down to the $60.57 mark. That would be kind of where I want to see if it could hold. And then you got $6.15. Should be a much stronger buy on TEM, but starting to look good. What I like on this one a lot is there's not really much holding you back. You have this zone 62.26. You got 62.64. Other than that, you got about 64.45 on TEM. So we'll see if that holds. I think, did I cover this one already? I feel like I covered this one already. I think I remember those exact lines. So DFEN for Bijal. Let's see. And then we'll do Roku and Apple as well. Uh, Direxion Daily Aerospace, fantastic gap. This one for right now. I mean, besides the fact that we're in 2025 and these type of gaps will just open and run, I can't be in it. I have to wait. So that's a lot of buying into this thing. You are getting that little bit of a gap up. I'd see if you come back down to like the 55.84 zone. If you could, you might be able to establish a position. I still feel like you're getting it kind of high, but really good trend on this one. It is looks like it is pushing. Let's check Roku. Roku, gotta push that one a little bit higher on my list. Yep. Not a lot of volume up until probably this is one candle, but 93.69 will get you into a decent next kind of resistance. Same thing, retest gap. See if this one wants to pull back first. 91.05, but we're starting to clear some decent VPOCs on that one, so we're going to throw that higher. Apple, I tried Apple yesterday. I ended up getting down to that one in the afternoon for like break even. Wasn't really doing too much. But for today, you do have, and I think we're going to get held down by this 200 EMA. So until we can get northbound of that one, looks like we had a good push into it, and this is just all pullback retest. I think we eventually, as long as this market can stay strong, I think eventually we're going to probably break out of it, 213.60 zone. But yeah, we'll see. For now, high wave candle, nothing too crazy. I don't have too much edge. If we open where we're at, we're actually below yesterday's VPOC. So I think there's probably better options in the market, better trades in the market. But now we're kind of gapping above it. But then your next resistance, if we hold here, 210.77, and then you got 211.14. If you want to try it as a swing, that I don't mind. So if you're trying it as a swing, somewhere probably around entry 210.35. I think I'd throw my stop somewhere around 207.47. Just get below that candle. And then I think the only thing you're worried about is that 200. I think eventually we break that. We will see. We got CSX. Okay, that one looks good. That's another one that was the buyout target. So what is it? CSX and then NSC, I believe. So both of those buyout targets. It kind of looks similar. So we kind of ran up, we dropped a little bit. This one, because of that run up, let's see if we get a pullback to 34.11. Do we start getting tangled up? I like the fact we're above all that volume, which is good. You got one more volume spike, so we're around 34.56. Let's see if we get this pullback on CSX first. What's the next one? DFDV. DeFi. That looks really good. Retest gap, but it's another one. I don't really want to see that full on retest. I don't want to see us get back down to, if it gets back down here, unless you're setting it for a swing, 29.79 as a day trade. I really want this thing to stay anywhere above 31.51. You got some room up to 34.82. That's a good return for a $31 stock. So we can make some magic happen. Let's get a small high wave candle, something impressive. Lots of tickers today. Tessie kind of coming down a little bit. Pre-market, I'm watching that. Let's see. We got Baba. Take a look at Baba for now, opening kind of in a weak spot. Let's see if you want to go bullish, you want to recapture 115.26. Next target is 116.52. Alert on Coinbase. We'll have to check that out, but that is the morning bell. You guys in YouTube, absolutely incredible. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you've not.